Family members went to visit the new arrival. However, upon seeing him up close, they discovered something that made them leave immediately, and the parents could not believe their eyes. "Congratulations, your baby has been born and it's a boy." For 8 long years, Ivan dreamed of hearing these words. You see, he and his wife had wanted to be parents ever since they were united in marriage, but that dream looked far away. According to the doctors, the probability of having a baby was 1% because the wife had a rare disease, which did not allow her to get pregnant. They were humble, and they had no money for treatment either, as only expensive clinics were specialists in that field. Even so, Ivan and she never gave up hope and prayed so hard to be able to procreate. By now, many couples would have split up, but today was finally a special day. They couldn't have been happier. It was a true miracle. "When will I be able to see my wife and son?" the man asked the nurse. "Right now, we have already finished the corresponding tests and everything seems to be fine." Ivan was really anxious. He could not wait to see them. Then he entered the room where they were, and there he saw the baby on his wife's chest, wrapped in blankets. The man approached him to see him better, and while walking, he said, "Honey, you make me the happiest man in the world. We have waited so long for this moment, and now at last, under all odds, we are a complete family." Elena wiped her tears because she was crying with happiness. Ivan leaned over to kiss his son, when suddenly he saw that he had something on his face and commented, "Did you see that already?" "Of course, he's so handsome," smiled the woman. "Yes, but he has a spot that covers almost half of his face." "That's normal. It's just a birthmark," replied the woman. "Well, yes, I heard that sometimes children are born with marks, but I didn't think ours would have one on his face." "And that makes you uncomfortable?" said the woman in confusion. "No, it's just that it's not usual." "Don't worry, the doctor said it's a harmless spot and that it wouldn't affect his development at all and that it would disappear in a short time." The man kept thinking about what she was saying. He hoped that the doctors were really right and that it was not something bad or serious. Elena saw that her husband did not come out of his astonishment, but he soon said, "There's no need to worry then. If it is so, everything is fine. I don't care at all. The main thing is that he is healthy and so are you. Our dream has been fulfilled, thank God. So spot or no spot, it's our baby and I love him." Ivan wanted to understand that his wife was right, and this was not such a terrible defect that could interfere with his life. He just needed time to get used to it, and he should listen to the doctors. After all, he is their son, but he did not know what was coming next. The woman calmed down and smiled. "Well, I'll go home and prepare everything for your return. Do you need me to bring you anything?" said the new dad. "No, I don't need anything, thank you," answered Elena. The man kissed her goodbye and left for home, as the hospital visits were almost over. On the second day, Ivan returned to pick up his wife and son who were discharged. They decided that they would invite relatives to their home once mom and baby had adjusted a bit to the new rhythm of life. The little boy required a lot of attention, and for 38-year-old Elena, being a mother for the first time, it was really difficult. Her husband helped her as much as he could. Even though he had to work during the day, he took care of their son at night to give his wife a chance to sleep. And after a few weeks of adaptation, Elena invited her best friend Gloria, who was eager to be the godmother of the baby, whom they named Eugenio. Gloria arrived with many gifts. She was sincerely happy for her friend who had been waiting so long for this moment. But when she saw the child, she was surprised and asked, "And what is this spot on her friend's face?" "It's a birthmark. The doctor says it's not serious. But it can be removed, can it? Maybe with some cream?" Elena was surprised by her words but preferred to remain silent. Nevertheless, Gloria continued speaking. "You really don't worry, my friend. It will grow with time and that spot will grow too. It won't be nice to see and the kids will make fun of it at school. Haven't you thought about it?" "No, I don't think so. By then the mark will disappear, and if it doesn't, I'm sure he'll get used to it and accept himself as he is. Then no teasing will harm him," answered Elena. "Well, I don't know. If it were my son, I would certainly remove that stain," the friend commented again. "Gloria can't do that after all. It's not a malformation, it's a blemish," the mother replied, offended. "We will wait until he grows up, and if it doesn't go away, he will decide for himself what is best for him." The mother was beginning to get angry, and the truth was that she didn't want to talk about the subject. Gloria finally realized her intrusion and decided to withdraw. "Well, I'm a little late, my friend. I have a doctor's appointment." "That's okay. I'll see you another day then." Gloria left, and Elena went about her business. On the weekend, a meeting with relatives was scheduled. Her parents, in-laws, brothers, sisters, and brothers-in-law, with whom she had a good relationship and was always happy to see them, were to come. That's how Sunday came. The woman was doing the shopping and she was looking forward to everyone's arrival. Unlike her, This time, the husband felt uneasy about the visit of his relatives. He was aware that relatives on both sides would ask many questions about his son's appearance, and knowing them perfectly well, he wanted to somehow prepare his wife for possible negative comments, but he did not know how to do it. Elena very early returned from the store and began to cook. Baby Eugenio was sleeping soundly, and Ivan decided it was time to talk. "Are you ready for the arrival of our relatives?" asked the man. "Of course I do. In fact, I miss you all. It's been a while since we had a family time. Can you imagine how happy they must be for us?" Elena's naivety surprised Ivan. She was always very optimistic, but he had doubts about how they would react to seeing the baby. In the afternoon, Elena finished getting ready. She was very excited about the meeting. Soon, the doorbell rang. Elena's sister arrived with her husband and 2 daughters, who immediately ran to see their cousin. They woke up little Eugenia with so much noise. The sister congratulated her and then went to the room to see the baby. But soon the joyful face of the girls and the woman turned into an expression of fright. Elena could not believe it. She realized why they were acting like that, and then she heard, "And that terrible stain, sister? It looks very big," Elena answered. "It is not as serious as it seems. I really don't want to talk about it. It makes me feel bad. I love him very much. I've been waiting for him for many years, and for us, the main thing is that he is healthy." A few minutes later, Ivan's parents and brother arrived, hugged him and congratulated him for being a father, and then went to the baby's crib. But they also left the crib scared, excusing themselves, and they did not want to wake him up since he was sleeping. Elena knew that they didn't like the mark on little Eugenio's face either. The whole family was gathered in the living room. Elena's parents had also arrived, and they asked, "What's that on the baby's face?" Soon, an unpleasant conversation began. "And can't it be removed?" asked Ivan's father. "Honestly, the child has such a nasty spot on his face." Elena looked confused. Ivan had perfectly understood his wife. She wanted so much for her family to be happy like them, but it turned out just the opposite. Elena said, "It's not unpleasant, it's just a birthmark, and I'm sure it will bring you a lot of luck in life." "But daughter, it's on his face. It didn't matter if he had that mark somewhere on his back or somewhere else. They're going to make fun of him. And we live in a cruel world, daughter. Something has to be done about it." "Why so much trouble with a stain that is going to disappear? That was God's will, and He will do what is best for him," she answered. The father was surprised. He didn't know his daughter was such a religious person. "You know, Dad, when you wait so long for a baby and it comes, it's a unique feeling. It doesn't matter if he has this or that. That's who he is, and we love him. What exactly is your problem? Don't you like your grandson?" The father looked at his daughter with astonishment. It was clear that he did not. "Well, family," Ivan began to speak, "I can understand that you are shocked to see our son. He has a blemish, but first of all, it is not serious. And secondly, it is not a physical defect that can prevent him from living and developing fully. Sincerely, we understand your reactions and we ask you to keep your emotions and especially your statements to yourself." Everyone looked silently at Ivan. Elena looked at her husband with gratitude. Ivan's father was the first to break the silence. "Guys, we are happy for you. We just didn't expect a special child to be born. We will give him all our unconditional support. But you must understand how amazed we were. We have never seen anything like this before. We are truly sorry." "Dad, Eugenio was born absolutely healthy." "Well, let's close this subject. I have a friend who is a surgeon. I will talk to him and see what can be done," said the mother. Elena couldn't take it anymore. "Enough. Thank you for all your congratulations and gifts. I just want to rest." She turned around and went to her room crying. Ivan dismissed the guests who were retiring and went to comfort his wife. Elena, of course, was crying, sitting next to her little boy's crib. Her husband tried to reassure her. Was it better not to invite them and forbid them to see the child? It is sad to see how they can criticize us for a simple stain. The woman soon leaned over the crib and said to her son in a low voice, "I am sure you will show everyone how smart you are, and they will be ashamed for treating you this way and will regret their words." As time went by, Eugenio turned 18, and at his young age, he graduated from school with honors. He entered aviation school on scholarship. The boy knew 5 foreign languages and was professionally engaged in swimming. He was the winner of many sports competitions. The parents were happy. All the relatives watched Eugene's achievements with open mouths. Even Elena's sister's children and Ivan's brother's children were not so smart, but the most incredible thing is that the stain became almost imperceptible at that age. In fact, if he received insults and humiliations in his childhood most of all, but he knew how to get out of it. Now the grandparents were proud of his success. Ivan and Elena looked at their loved ones and wondered, how was it possible for them to have that reaction in the past when they looked at him the first time? They left frightened. Now all the relatives centered their attention on Eugenio with happiness. None of them felt that in the past. They did not even want to accept him into the family. They did not consider him like the rest. And even his classmates made fun of him, and so it was for many years. Elena and Ivan looked at their son with pride when he was accepted into their country's Air Force. His greatest dream was to protect his own. A story that happened already 20 years ago in faraway Lithuania, undoubtedly now an example for us. This fact leaves us a great reflection. Many people look at the appearances of others, if they walk badly, if they are of another color, if they are of another religion, and many other things without looking at themselves. The saddest thing of all is when we differentiate between family members.
If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with someone who may find it interesting. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.